Dear friends of the National Italian-American Foundation, I am very happy to join the 47th Gala Awards of ERENAF. What if the biggest fight in European politics just happened, and the whole world missed it? For months, Ursula von der Leyen has been building her power base in Brussels, thinking no one could take it away. But on a cold morning in January 2026, Giorgia Meloni stood in front of the cameras and said the one thing von der Leyen was trying to stop. This wasn't just a polite disagreement. This wasn't a debate about rules inside a private room. This was like declaring war on the power of the European Commission. One sentence from the Italian Prime Minister shook everyone in Brussels, and the trouble is just starting. What did Meloni say that is scaring the creator of the European Green Deal? Why is von der Leyen rushing to stop a rebellion that is growing faster than she can handle? And most importantly, what does this mean for 450 million people in Europe who are about to see the biggest power fight in the history of the European Union? This big shakeup didn't start with a loud noise. It started with a whisper that turned into a roar. On January 15, 2026, Giorgia Meloni stood on a stage in Rome with her friends, and she said something Brussels hoped she would never say. She looked right at the camera and said that the European Commission, led by Ursula von der Leyen, no longer has the right to control the money of independent countries. This wasn't a complaint. It wasn't a request to talk. It was a firm no to Brussels controlling Italy's money and energy. Within hours, her words bounced across every capital city in Europe. In Warsaw, the government cheered. In Prague, leaders agreed. In Paris, Marine Le Pen's party called it the start of the end for the bosses in Brussels. But in the big building where von der Leyen leads her team, everyone was panicking. Because Meloni didn't just complain about the system. She showed the one weak spot von der Leyen tried to hide. The European Union is out of money, split up, and running out of time. To understand why this is dangerous, we need to ignore fancy words and look at the real numbers that are hurting the EU. Italy's debt is expected to be very high by the end of 2026. Under new rules, Brussels is telling Rome to cut spending and raise taxes to fix their debt. But here is the trap von der Leyen set, and Meloni just avoided. The EU's money rules were made for a time when things were good. We are not in that time anymore. With prices still high and interest rates up, the European Central Bank can't do much. The economy is stopping. People are worried. Yet Brussels is telling Italy, Spain, and Greece to spend even less money. Meloni called it what it is, hurting the economy while pretending to be responsible. She noted that while von der Leyen scolds Southern Europe, Germany's economy is shrinking, and France is in political trouble and can't agree on a budget. The whole European plan for growth is broken, and Meloni just told the world the truth. But the money problem is just one part. The real damage Meloni caused goes to the heart of von der Leyen's big project, the European Green Deal. For 5 years, von der Leyen has bet everything on making Europe the first continent with no carbon pollution by 2050. The main part of this plan was banning gas cars by 2035, forcing everyone to buy electric cars even if they can't afford them. But by early 2026, the whole plan is failing because it isn't realistic. Meloni didn't just complain about this plan, she organized a way to destroy it. Working with friends in Hungary, Czech Republic, and Poland, she built a team that forced the European Commission to weaken the 2035 ban. The New Deal allows other fuels, making a hole in the rules so big that the original plan doesn't matter anymore. Von der Leyen tried to say this was a smart change, but everyone knows the truth. It was a big loss, and Meloni caused it. The Italian Prime Minister didn't stop there. She showed everyone the facts that the Commission tried to hide. European car makers are losing business to Chinese electric car companies. More charging stations in southern and eastern Europe are late being built, and regular families can't afford electric cars that cost 40% more than gas cars. Meloni explained it perfectly. Von der Leyen's Green Deal isn't saving the planet. It is hurting European businesses and giving power to China. The timing of Meloni's attack is not an accident. She attacked right when von der Leyen is weakest. The 2026 EU budget is in trouble. The cost of borrowing money after the pandemic has gone up much higher than anyone expected. To pay back the loans, Brussels has to take money from student programs, science research, and building projects. This causes big political problems. Von der Leyen promised the loans were just a one-time thing to make Europe stronger. Instead, people are seeing money for education and research get cut to pay off debts. Meloni seized this story. She stood in front of the Italian parliament and said Brussels is trapping them in debt, borrowing money to help, but then forcing countries to give up their future to pay it back. It's a popular message, but it is supported by real facts from the European auditors. The EU's money situation is getting worse and there is no plan to fix it. Von der Leyen has no answer for this because there is no good answer. The way the European Union is set up now costs too much money to keep going. But Meloni's biggest hit wasn't about money or climate. It was about freedom and democracy. She said von der Leyen and the Brussels office act like an unelected government that forces its rules on countries' elected leaders. This is a very dangerous topic in European politics. It's something most politicians are not supposed to say. But Meloni isn't like most politicians. She leads a growing group in Europe that thinks the EU has too much power and needs to change or break up. She pointed to all the new rules coming from Brussels, covering everything from business laws to artificial intelligence. Each rule adds more paperwork and costs for businesses, while the people in Brussels don't have to answer to the voters. Meloni asked the question that von der Leyen fears the most. Who voted for Ursula von der Leyen to decide how Italians heat their homes, what cars they drive, or how much money their government can borrow? The answer is nobody. Von der Leyen was picked in private meetings by leaders, and her power depends on a weak group in the European Parliament supporting her. Meloni just announced that Italy no longer accepts her right to rule. This is the kind of statement that causes a huge legal crisis. The effects of Meloni's words are spreading across Europe faster than von der Leyen can stop them. Within 2 days of her statement, other political leaders started saying the same thing. In Hungary, Viktor Orbán called an urgent meeting and said his country stands with Rome against Brussels, taking too much power. In Poland, important people in the opposition party praised Meloni for being brave enough to tell the truth. Even in countries that usually like the EU, problems are starting to show. In the Netherlands, Geert Wilders' party got more popular after supporting Meloni. In Austria, the Freedom Party used this moment to ask for a vote on whether to stay in the EU. Von der Leyen is watching a rebellion form right now, and she has no good plan to stop it. Her usual tricks, like holding back money or calling for unity, are not working against people who think the system is broken. This isn't just about Italy anymore. This is about whether the European Union can survive the next 10 years. The energy part of this fight makes everything more dangerous. Meloni has made Italy the main entry point for energy in Europe, challenging von der Leyen's plan for wind and solar power. The Mattei Plan, named after a famous Italian energy boss, is Meloni's plan to make Italy the link between Europe and Africa's resources. Through new pipelines from Algeria and Libya, Italy is getting natural gas to keep factories running while green energy develops slowly. Even more importantly, Meloni is making deals for green energy in North Africa, making Italy the main place for the clean fuel von der Leyen talks about. The smart part is that Meloni is using von der Leyen's own words about green energy, but skipping the slow rules of the Commission. Italy is making direct deals with African countries, offering money and help with building in exchange for safe energy. The EU's big global plan was supposed to do this, but it is stuck in meetings and too many rules about rights and democracy. Meanwhile, Meloni is getting deals signed and energy flowing. She is proving that one strong country can move faster than all of Brussels. The migration part of the plan is even more embarrassing for von der Leyen. For years, the Commission tried to make one rule for migration, but every try failed because countries couldn't agree. Von der Leyen's new rule in 2024 was supposed to solve this by making everyone share the responsibility. But Italy, under Meloni, they just ignored it. Instead, she made deals with North African countries to stop migration before people reach Europe. These deals include giving money, building things, and working with coast guards. They also include plans to handle refugee claims in other countries, which von der Leyen officially dislikes, but secretly knows is the only way. The numbers show the truth. Illegal entries to Italy dropped by 62% in 2025, compared to the year before. While other countries saw increases, Meloni's plan is working, making the Commission's rules look like just a dream. Other EU members are noticing. Even Spain, usually on Brussels' side, is looking at similar deals. Von der Leyen's European plan for migration is being replaced by Meloni's plan of national action, and the Commission can't stop it. The relationship with America is where Meloni's challenge gets really dangerous for von der Leyen. While the Commission president tried to balance the relationship with the United States, Meloni just ran straight to Washington. Her visit to the United States in early 2026 showed that Italy is ready to be America's main partner in Europe, skipping Brussels. Meloni met with important American leaders and got promises for help with defense, technology, and trade. She made Italy look like the trusty friend on issues where von der Leyen wasn't sure what to do. On China, while Brussels argues about details, Meloni has been tough, blocking Chinese money and helping America limit technology sharing. On defense spending, while von der Leyen tries to get members to spend more, Meloni announced Italy will spend more than the NATO goal by 2028. On energy, while the Commission wants to stop using old fuels, Meloni is working with American companies to bring in gas and nuclear power. She is building a new friendship with America that doesn't include Brussels. This makes von der Leyen less important. The political reasons for Meloni's actions are becoming clearer every day. She isn't just fighting to change rules. She wants to lead a new political group that could rule Europe for a long time. The 2024 elections showed that conservative parties are winning more, but they didn't work together well. Meloni is fixing that through her political group. She is building a team that stretches from Rome to Warsaw to Stockholm. They are united by doubt in Brussels, love for their own countries, and practical ideas on immigration and energy. This team isn't the biggest yet, but it is growing. And it has energy and excitement, which von der Leyen's group doesn't have. Voters in Europe are tired of being told to save the climate while their energy bills go up. They are annoyed with migration rules that seem to ignore their worries. They are angry about the slow economy, while Brussels claims everything is fine. Meloni is using that anger to build a movement, and von der Leyen has no story that regular people like. The end of this fight will decide if the European Union stays together or breaks into different groups. Von der Leyen has fewer choices every week. She can stick to her current rules, insisting that the Green Deal and money rules must stay. But this might make more countries rebel along with Italy. The other choice is to compromise, make the climate rules easier, and give countries more power. But doing that would ruin von der Leyen's reputation and admit that Meloni was right. Both choices make von der Leyen less powerful. The Italian Prime Minister has built a perfect trap. If Brussels fights back, Italy can act like a victim of unfair rules and get more countries to join them. If Brussels gives in, Meloni claims victory and shows that fighting works better than agreeing. Von der Leyen is learning what happens when you make a system where everyone has to follow rules that don't help them anymore. As soon as a big player decides not to follow the rules, the whole system becomes weak. Meloni isn't just breaking the rules. She is proving that the rules were always optional for those brave enough to challenge them. The Ice Queen of Brussels is finding out that ice melts when things get hot. Leyen and Giorgia Meloni just turned up the heat so high it might never cool down. We are watching the most important power struggle in modern European history happen right now. What Meloni said isn't just a challenge to von der Leyen. It challenges the whole idea that Europe must always get closer together. The question is no longer if Brussels will change, but if it can survive at all. Is Meloni destroying European unity? Or is she the only leader smart enough to save Europe from a dream that was never going to work? Does the future belong to von der Leyen's big central government, or to Meloni's Europe of independent countries working together? The next 12 months will answer these questions, and the results will change not just Europe, but the whole world. The rebellion has started, and there is no going back. Which side will you be on when they write about the moment Europe changed forever? Share your thoughts below because this topic will define the future of European politics, and your opinion matters.